There's a moment when everything feels normal, like life is on a stable track, and you think nothing can ever derail it. That's how it felt with me and Liam. We'd been best friends since the 5th grade, inseparable through middle school and into adulthood, when everyone else grew distant or weird after high school. It was always me and Liam. I thought nothing could ever break us. Liam wasn't just my friend. He was the guy who always had my back. When my parents got divorced, he slept over for 3 nights straight, just to make sure I was okay. When I lost my job a year ago, he snuck me groceries, even though I told him not to. Liam had a heart that could carry a whole world's worth of problems and still leave room for you. So when he called me one Thursday night, I answered without hesitation. "Dude, I need a favor," he said, sounding frantic. "Anything," I told him, as always. "I need you to cover for me," he said. "It's just for tonight. Nothing crazy." He explained that his girlfriend, Emily, had been suspicious lately. They'd been going through a rough patch, and she'd gotten it into her head that he was hiding something from her. Liam wasn't a cheater. He was too loyal for that. But tonight, he had plans to blow off steam with some old friends, and he knew if Emily found out, it would spark a fight. "All I need you to do is say I was with you if she asks," he told me. It seemed harmless enough, just a little white lie. I didn't think twice before agreeing. "Yeah, man, I got you." The thing is, I should have thought twice. I didn't realize at that moment how much weight a small lie can carry once it starts rolling downhill, and the lie I told that night would gain speed faster than I could ever control. It didn't take long for the lie to turn into something much bigger than I ever imagined. It started small, just an alibi to dodge Emily's questions, but Liam kept calling, and I kept covering. At first, it felt harmless, like we were bending the rules without really breaking them. A small favor between best friends, right? But things shifted fast. Liam stopped checking in with Emily altogether, dodging her texts and ghosting plans. Nights turned into late mornings as he started hanging out with people I didn't recognize. Guys who were all about the parties, booze, and whatever trouble they could stir up. Every time Emily asked where he was, I became his fallback. He crashed at mine. Yeah, we went out for drinks. I didn't question it. Liam always had a way of making everything sound temporary. Just a rough patch, just blowing off steam. But something was off. The old Liam, the one who took life seriously, was slipping away. The guy who helped me through my darkest days started vanishing behind this carefree, reckless version of himself. When I asked him about it, he brushed me off. "Don't worry about it, man. I've got this." But I could tell he didn't have it. And I was starting to feel the cracks in my gut, like we were running toward a cliff, and I had no idea how to stop it. Then one night, Emily called again, only this time she was crying. "I just need to know the truth, okay?" Her voice cracked over the phone. "He told me he was with you again, but please, just be honest with me." Something in me almost snapped right there. I could have told her everything. I could have stopped it all, right then and there, but I didn't. "Yeah," I whispered, hating the word even as it left my mouth. "He was with me." There was silence, long enough for my heart to start pounding. "Okay," she said, voice flat, like she was giving up on more than just the conversation. "Thanks." Then she hung up. I sat in the silence of my apartment, the phone still in my hand, realizing for the first time that this lie wasn't just a favor anymore. It had grown teeth, and it was starting to bite back. The fallout was fast and brutal. After Emily found the texts, she didn't just break up with Liam. She nuked his life. She blocked his number, told their mutual friends what he'd done, and cut him off entirely. For the first few days, Liam kept calling me, panicking, hoping we could fix this somehow. "She's done with me, man," he said on one of those desperate calls. "But maybe if you explain things, she'll understand. Like, you can tell her it wasn't what it looked like. Just a rough patch, right? We all lie a little, don't we?" But even as he spoke, I knew there was no talking Emily down. Liam hadn't just broken her trust. He'd shattered it, and I'd handed him the hammer. At first, I did what I could. I sent Emily a few messages, but trying to smooth things over. She left me on read. Mutual friends started distancing themselves, as if Liam's bad choices were contagious, and I had it too. My phone went quiet, my social media feeds a little lonelier, and that's when Liam's spiral kicked into overdrive. He stopped going to work and drowned himself in alcohol. The guy who used to save me from my worst days was now unreachable on his own. I tried calling, texting, nothing worked. Eventually, I showed up at his apartment, pounding on the door until my knuckles ached. "Liam, open up. You can't do this to yourself." The door stayed shut. From behind it, I heard nothing, just silence. Then came the message from a mutual friend, the one that changed everything. "Just thought you should know. Liam's leaving town, sold most of his stuff, gone by the weekend. Gone, just like that. No warning, no goodbye. The friendship I thought would last forever was dissolving before my eyes, but the nightmare wasn't over yet. Not even close. 2 days later, I was home, scrolling mindlessly on my phone, when I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. "Meet me. You need to know the truth." It was from Emily. Confused but curious, I agreed. She asked me to meet her at a small cafe downtown. When I arrived, she was sitting at a corner table, arms crossed, eyes cold but steady. I sat down, feeling a knot tighten in my chest. "What's this about?" I asked cautiously. Emily didn't waste time. "Liam lied to both of us," she said flatly. "Wait, what do you mean?" I stammered, thrown off by the bitterness in her voice. She pulled out her phone and slid it across the table. On the screen was a series of messages, from me to Liam. But here's the thing. I didn't send them. The texts were explicit. Messages about covering for Liam, mocking Emily, even encouraging him to cheat on her. My stomach churned as I read them. "I didn't send these," I whispered, feeling the walls of reality tilt. "This isn't me." Emily raised an eyebrow. "Then who did?" The answer hit me like a slap to the face. Liam. He had cloned my number, somehow spoofed it, sending fake texts to himself to make it look like I was involved in his lies from the beginning. Every time I gave him an alibi, he went further, fabricating messages to implicate me deeper. He wasn't just using me as a shield from Emily. He was making sure that if everything fell apart, I'd go down with him. "Oh my God," I breathed, the enormity of it crushing down on me. "He set me up." Emily nodded, her expression tight with anger and betrayal. I didn't want to believe it at first, but the timeline didn't add up. And when I showed the messages to a friend in IT, they confirmed they were spoofed. I sat there stunned, feeling the weight of every decision I'd made. All those times I thought I was helping Liam, standing by him like a loyal friend. I was really just tightening the noose he had wrapped around me. "Why?" I asked, more to myself than to Emily. "Why would he do this?" Emily's eyes darkened. "Liam's not who you think he is. He never was. This whole time he's been playing you, just like he played me." The truth settled in my chest like ice. Liam hadn't just lied to Emily. He'd manipulated me, knowing that I'd back him up without question. And when things got messy, he made sure I'd be the one holding the bag. I left the cafe in a daze, replaying every moment I'd spent with Liam, trying to spot the cracks I'd missed. The laughs, the favors, the nights I covered for him. They all felt poisoned now, twisted into something ugly and unforgivable. When I got home, I tried calling Liam one last time. I didn't know what I wanted, closure, an apology, or maybe just answers. But his phone went straight to voicemail. Of course it did. Then, out of nowhere, I received a final text from Liam. "You were always too loyal for your own good. Thanks for everything. Don't try to find me." And that was it. The last message from my best friend. No apology, no regret, just a cold, calculated exit. He'd burned every bridge between us and walked away without looking back. In the weeks that followed, I tried to rebuild my life from the ashes Liam had left behind. Friends drifted away, unsure whether to believe me or the lies Liam had planted. Emily and I didn't stay in touch. Too much damage had been done between us. And Liam, he disappeared, leaving no trace. No one knew where he'd gone, and after a while, no one cared. But I cared. I cared too much. Because no matter how many times I told myself that Liam was the villain in this story, the truth gnawed at me like a splinter under my skin. I had helped him. I had lied for him, stood by him, and enabled him every step of the way. I'd been complicit in my own destruction, too blinded by loyalty to see the trap he was laying. Some friendships don't end with a fight. They end quietly, with the slow realization that the person you trusted most was always the one holding the knife. And by the time you see it, it's already too late. Now, I don't try to find Liam. I don't want to know where he went or what he's doing. Some things are better left buried. But every so often I wonder, if I'd said no that first night, if I'd refused to cover for him, would it have changed anything? Or was I always destined to destroy my best friend's life, without ever knowing I was destroying my own? Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this story, and share your ideas for future videos. See you in the next video.